Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This will be a short video review of Teaching Music. This is a publication of the National Association for Music Education. You can find them online at NAfME.org. Last week in a video I did a short review of the state level publication called ILMEA, the Illinois Music Education Association, and this is the national publication, again called Teaching Music. This is the August 2019 issue. I had this for a couple of weeks now, but I didn't get to read it until a couple of days ago, and I just want to share some of the articles that I liked, that jumped at me. Very useful resource. If you're a member, I'm sure you'll agree, a great resource of information. It's also a great umbrella. This morning it was raining really hard and I was walking from my car to my classroom, and this saved my hair from the heavy rain, so that was pretty funny this morning. But anyways, I'll just share a few articles in here with you, just some of the articles that I liked or that I had questions about, I guess. The first one was on page 11. Cover page looks like this. An article written by Jody Blake, and this is a chorus teacher, a choir teacher, that is also a bus driver, and this bus driver is driving their chorus to a performance venue, and while driving there, they're allowing the chorus members to have a rehearsal, a student-led rehearsal. And it's quite an interesting article to see how the students lead themselves in a rehearsal with the conductor simply driving the bus. It's a pretty cool concept there. Another article that I kind of liked, there's a few that I read but didn't find a lot of useful information for myself, for me at this point. I liked this article a lot. It seems to be the main article of the publication of this number, and it's called Developing the Whole Musician. The article starts with this idea written about by the great Kodály, Zoltán Kodály, and he wrote something like this, that to be, I'm reading this from the article itself, this is an article by Carla Kalogeridis. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. That's how you spell it. If I butchered it, I apologize. And it says that to be a well-rounded musician, you must advance the ear, the hand, the eye, the brain, and the heart. So this article is talking about addressing the entire person when you teach music. Here's another quote from it. It says, you need as many teaching approaches in your curriculum as possible. Students need options. Giving them multiple ways to show what they know sets them up for success. Great article. The next one I enjoyed reading, but it left me with some questions, mostly for myself, not so much for the person who wrote it. This is an article by Thomas Mercetti, and it's called Experiential Ensembles, A Leap of Faith. Looks like that. And the main idea here is creating opportunities for the musicians to lead the rehearsals themselves, which often may seem like a leap of faith for the educator, kind of like the article with the bus driver who was also the chorus teacher. And I enjoyed reading this article. The only unanswered questions, I guess, or the only challenge that I would see myself anyways with this kind of approach would be to find the right balance between me as a teacher offering guidance to my students and allowing them to offer guidance to themselves. Of course, this also depends on the age that one teaches. At this point, I teach 1st through 6th grade at my particular teaching assignment. And you know, the younger the children, the more guidance they need. I guess in a high school setting or a college setting, this kind of approach would work a lot. It would be more efficient. But with younger children, they need lots of guidance, how to hold the instrument properly, how to create a clean sound when playing the instrument or when singing. And so they need teacher guidance, and they need the educator to set an example to show them how before you allow them to go on and try it themselves. The next one, again, same idea. It's called Exploring Hybrid Teaching Spaces. This one, again, talks about the same idea, allowing the students to create their own practice space at home, away from your classroom. Here's the subtitle of the article: Putting Students in Charge of Their Own Learning Leads to Increased Creativity and Commitment. And again, that's true, I think, to some extent, because in order for the students to go home with something to practice, they first need some kind of foundational idea about what they're doing. It's like if you teach math and you have some new concept that you're teaching, and just sending the kids home with homework doesn't really go very far. You have to demonstrate, you have to exemplify in the classroom and show them how it's done. So just like with the other articles, I like the idea of allowing the students to teach and lead themselves, but they need some kind of foundational basis first before they can do that. That's my opinion anyways. For example, there's a picture here of a student playing, some students playing guitar away from your classroom in the outdoors, and that's all great and it's fun. But before they can do that on their own, they need to know how to play a G chord, how to play a C chord, how to create a clean sound. So they need a fundamental basis that they can take home with themselves and develop upon. Here's a direct quote from the article. It says, "They, the students, might not realize as quickly as you can that something is not quite right, but they will realize it. When they do, when they come up with a solution, it is a much more meaningful and lasting lesson for them." I agree, that's great, but often they may not be able to do that. They may not be able to find a solution, and that's where you need an educator, somebody who has answers that students may not be able to find out by themselves. If you talk about playing a musical instrument, especially in the early beginning stages, they need certain things they need help with in the classroom before they can take it home and practice by themselves. The next article seems to me to be geared towards high school or college ensembles. It's talking about preparing and rehearsing with more unconventional groups or ensembles, like a pop band or a rock band, and allowing them again to rehearse by themselves and get ready for a performance by themselves. And it seems to me that this whole number focuses on that idea, which again at the high school or college level is quite achievable. At the earlier grade level, not so much, in my opinion. The next article that I kind of like seems to be a collection of reprints from previous numbers and articles, and the main theme is advocacy. It's called State Opus, Advocacy, Making the Scary Not So Scary. Looks like this. Okay. And I'll read a direct quote from the article. This is by Brian Hartman. He writes, "Many of us tell our students that every day is an audition. Well, I think that applies to us as well," talking about educators here. "Every time we have the opportunity to represent our program is an audition in the lives of kids and families who have the opportunity to choose to be in our programs." I think that's very true. Like our concerts, for example, are kind of our auditions where we show our parents, the parents in the school, what we do in music class. That's for sure. The last article in here that I like, Practical Classroom Applications of the Latest Research in Music Education, and it's subtitled, "Should I Join?" It's talking about inner city kids and joining different ensembles. One thing that jumped at me, because I do teach chorus, or choir, whatever you want to call it. It says, choirs generally have a more equitable proportion of students from under-resourced families than do band or string ensembles. So what it's saying is that in inner city schools, I don't work in an inner city school, but I think this to be true. In inner city schools with lower income families, it appears that students from lower income families would join the choir more easily than joining band or orchestra. For obvious reasons, if you join the chorus, there's no need for an instrument. You already have it inside of you. It's your voice. You don't have to rent or purchase an instrument. So that was a pretty obvious thing to say, I thought. Anyways, that's the end of it. There's some advertising, lots of that. And, oh, there's one more here on page 54. It's called Change is Inevitable. Struggling with it doesn't have to be. Looks like this. Every educator would agree that the only thing that doesn't change in education is that everything changes, always. The only constant in education is that everything is not constant. Everything changes. And some things that the article here mentions, things that change constantly, are curriculum, legislation, testing, no kidding, evaluation for sure, instructional methods, technology for sure, and of course the students themselves. So that's the end of that number. And again, cover looks like this. The August 2019, volume 27, number 1. This is the end of the video. Thank you for watching this. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to write them at the bottom. If you're new to my channel, feel free to subscribe so you can watch my videos. I play music in here often. I haven't done a playing video in a while, but I will very soon, hopefully. I'm a classical guitarist. I play all kinds of music on the guitar. I also play piano and other things like that. Well, thanks for watching the video. I hope you have a nice day. It's a new week. Let's go get 'em. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.